I set the wrong time. It says 10:30 p.m. You mean 10:30 a.m. All right. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. Victor Osimhen. Wow. Did not expect to be hearing this. We're playing Man City today, and I feel like this is just a stopgap preview. You know, we're going to talk about the City game and talk about the things that are going to go on. But Osimhen, a striker, Bayern really need a striker. Choupo-Moting is completely unreliable, not because his performances aren't good anymore, but because he can't stay fit. Who would have thought back injuries and knee joints? Come on. Knee joints? Come on, Choupo. So Choupo's been injured now for a week, and then he'll come back, injured for a week, come back. He's so unreliable in that way. So I'm wondering if we go all out, sign a big striker. My preference, honestly, would be Kane if he, didn't cost $100 million and was also 29 years old. And there's people that say, well, that's not a lot of money. He's going to be world class for about 3 seasons. I want world class for 7 years, and I want someone we can sell if they don't work out and still not realize as much loss as signing a 30-year-old Kane who we couldn't sell for anywhere close to the money we'd sign him for, especially if he flops and everyone knows he's old. But at least with Osimhen, he's always going to have his Napoli record on his CV. Or if you go with someone like Colo, who wouldn't be my preference for a striker, you would still be able to sell him to someone who needs a player like him because he wouldn't just lose his talent. He would have years still in the tank. Osimhen's 24 years old, and I wonder if he's about to turn 25 or he's a new 24. Yeah, he's a new 24, so he just turned 24 years old 4 months ago. I like his play style. I think it's very explosive, and he did say in an interview he modeled his game after Didier Drogba. So that makes sense how he kind of, plays explosive. His finishing is really high class. I watched some of his clips. His heading is good. His volleys, like in the box, ball control in the box to get a shot off. He's always looking to get a shot off in the box, even at angles you wouldn't really see, but he sees them and he gets those efficient shots off effectively. That's why he has so many goals for Napoli. Look, and I think Kvaratskhelia is also a huge part of how Osimhen plays. So, but the thing I'm worried about is I look at some of these injuries, man. Like, his cheekbone got injured. Well, he recovered from that, but he's still wearing the face mask because he wants to. But this guy's injured his shoulder. He's currently injured, by the way. Is he? Hold on. I don't think he played in Napoli's last game. I don't remember seeing his name anywhere. Yeah, he's currently injured. Like that's the kind of thing where I'm like, come on, man. If he did join Bayern, that'd be a perfect Bayern player, capability of getting injured a lot. So, make of that what you will, but Osimhen gets injured. But let me read to you what the news story is, so you know for yourself. Here we go. So this is the story right here, and it's coming in from Florian Plettenberg, who is, in my opinion, the most accurate Bayern journalist out there. You're not going to find a journalist as accurate about Bayern as Florian Plettenberg is. So the news is Bayern officials had a phone call with Victor Osimhen's management last month. The club told the players' camp that they appreciate his qualities, but at the moment, he's too expensive. Osimhen is expected to cost way more than $100 million. So the story came out, I believe, 2 days ago that Bayern are willing to pour 100 million euros onto a striker. So we are willing to spend 100 million. And by the way, Napoli, in the deal to sign Osimhen, also, like they didn't sign him for 75 million like I was saying yesterday. Because if you look, I remember back, so they also sold some players to Lille. I don't remember who, but someone went to Lille at Napoli. Let me actually look up. Let's filter. Let's see. No, did someone go to Lille? Am I tripping? Because then the transfer, because then that would have made like it's basically money laundering. Who went to Lille? They sold their goalkeeper, Orestes Karnarzes, 35 years old at the time, for 5 million, right? They also sold a right winger that was 22, Luigi Laguiri, for 4 million euros. Dog, that's money laundering, because basically they pay money to Lille to buy Osimhen, and then Lille buys these irrelevant players from them for these cheap prices. So I don't know. Was Osimhen really that expensive? Or did Lille and Napoli know exactly what they were doing with balancing the books? But anyways, all I'm saying is Napoli didn't spend as much as we imagined they spent. I think Osimhen is worth 100 million. I really do, with the way this market is. Also, I think he sells shirts. He's a very marketable player, and Bayern sell the most shirts, so Bayern would be attracted by the proposition of signing someone like Osimhen. I mean, he's Nigerian. Like, he gonna sell shirts. He's gonna sell shirts 1,000,000,000%. So I wonder what you guys think. So we had a phone call with the player, right? And you're thinking, oh, maybe this is the end of the story. Well, no. 6 hours ago, Plettenberg put out another update to the whole storyline. Says Osimhen would like to join Bayern and is open to a return to the Bundesliga. Talks with his management took place. Napoli want more than 100 million for the striker, possibly up to 130 million euros. Bayern will not pay over 100 million. Further talks expected in the coming weeks. So this is becoming a reality. Like, we're that much linked to him. We're going to start talking, like communicating back and forth, potentially negotiating. See, here's the thing. Bayern are not going to spend 130 million on Osimhen. No way. We're not going to break our record by that much. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Napoli. Actually, no, we already went to Osimhen. We're going to convince him to only want Bayern. We're going to say, hey, we're going to pay you 30 million a year, right? Or 25 million in wages or something. Like, we're going to break our wage structure to sign you because we believe in you. Or we're just going to double what Napoli pays you, because they can't afford to pay him, as much money as some of you probably think. I don't know. How much does Osimhen make at Napoli? Let's Google that. Osimhen's on 4 million a year. 4 million. And Napoli will offer him a 7 million contract. That's nothing, right? That's nothing. At the end of the day, the wage structure is the most important thing. That's why players leave clubs. Bro, we can afford 7 mil a year. Euros too, man, not even pounds. Now we can give him 15 million. He would love to double his salary and join a stable club, which is why he's open to the move. And he wants to return to the Bundesliga because Bayern is massive. We're huge, dude. We're big, dude. I mean, the alternative would be go to PSG and make a bunch of money, but never be competitive in the Champions League and just lose to Bayern over and over and over and over again. Or go to, I don't know, Man United and risk the chance of your career basically ending because you don't know what Man United's project is. You don't know who's going to own them. Or go to Chelsea and just be on the bench as they sign 10 more strikers. So I think ultimately Osimhen would benefit massively from joining Bayern. But yeah, we can afford his wage. We can double it if we want. We could even triple this. 7 million a year is nothing for Bayern. We're paying freaking Gnabry 18 mil. I wonder if this is after taxes. If it's before taxes, then that's even worse because he's only really keeping like maybe 3 million. Because I know those European governments be taking hella money on taxes. So many players have been charged for tax fraud because they're just getting ruined by taxation, which, by the way, is crazy. Like, imagine making 7 million and the government takes like more than 50% of that in some cases. I don't know. If you can find a way to get around it, I respect you. Make some foreign accounts, because what's the government going to do with your money? Like, buy a bunch of things you don't care about? Do a bunch of things like fund a war? Like, most useless thing you could use my taxes for. So, Osimhen's an interesting player, right? I think he would love to join Bayern. We can pay him a lot of money. But here's how we're going to negotiate with Napoli. So first we go to the player and say, we're paying you this much. You want to come? Okay. Well, tell Chelsea you don't want to go there. Tell United you're not going. Tell Liverpool. Tell every other club that's linked to you you're not interested. You only want Bayern. That's the same thing we do with every player that we sign. We make them reject other clubs. So then Osimhen's going to go to Napoli and say, in Italian, I don't want to go to United, to AC Milano. He's going to say, I don't want to go anywhere else but Bayern. So then Napoli's like, okay, crap. There's no bidding war, so we can't get the kind of money we want. We can only negotiate with Bayern. Because Napoli have great leverage if 4 clubs want Osimhen and they're all willing to pay 100 million, which means now they got to bid, and whoever makes the highest bid wins, especially if Osimhen is open to all of them. But if he's only open to one, then Napoli can only negotiate with the one and the leverage is gone. Negotiation is all about leverage, finding something your counterpart wants that you have, and either taking it from him or offering it to him at a bargain. Like, you make yourself get the bargain. So now we can go to Napoli and say, okay, let's start negotiations at 85 million, because Bayern will be reasonable. We're not going to go to Napoli and try to offer 75 million to match the transfer for him a couple years ago. Even though I believe if Osimhen wins the Serie A, he would have earned the right to, get a lower transfer fee to go to the club of his choice, because he helped Napoli get back to greatness. So I think Bayern are going to tell Napoli, hey, let's start negotiations at 85 million or 80 million. What's Napoli going to do? Well, we don't want 80 million. Disrespectful. No. They're going to see it like, okay, Bayern are coming in low ball. Then they're going to say, well, we were thinking 130 million. And Bayern are going to say, how are we supposed to come up with 130 million? You know our club structure. That's that kind of money we can't. We're not Man City. We're not Liverpool. We're not United. We're not Chelsea. We're not these clubs, right? We're Bayern. We're restricted by 50+1. How are we supposed to come up with 130 million? Now Napoli's going to change their perspective. Like, well, now they're going to, how is Bayern supposed to come up with 130 million? They're going to start like using math. Then they might come back and be like, okay, because Bayern are going to keep silent or let Napoli negotiate with themselves. And then Napoli's going to come back and say, well, Osimhen wants to leave. We're willing to come down to 110. And Bayern's going to be like, well, we still can't do that. That's a generous offer, but we can't do it. Napoli's just going to be, And then this is where Bayern has to come in with a counter offer, because Napoli could just say, okay, we're keeping Osimhen. We'll lose him for less money next year, but we think he's valuable for us. And Bayern has to come in and be like, okay, we understand that you believe Osimhen is really valuable, and you also spent a lot of money for him because you have the ability to scout players and you knew it wouldn't be a flop. So we can't necessarily do 110 million, but what we can do is add 5 million to our 85 million. So 90 million, and we're going to do an additional 15 million in add-ons. If he wins the Champions League, that's 2.5 million. If he wins the Ballon d'Or, that's 2.5 million. These crazy clauses. And now you end up signing Osimhen, and then Instead of paying you, up front, we could say, we'll pay you by season. And Napoli might prefer that, to balance their books over years. They could be balancing their structure with just Osimhen's transfer for 4 years. And it's a club that needs balancing, and they don't have much debt anymore. So they might love the prospect of just getting money and revenue from one player over a period of time, so they can balance books in different years and report their finances differently. And I don't know, but Bayern will say, we can't pay you immediately. We'll pay you 30 million over the period of 3 years, and we'll get there to 90 million. So 30 million per season, and the bonuses kick on if he gets 30 goals. Like, that's how negotiation works. Bayern will make Napoli only negotiate with us by making Osimhen reject other clubs, like we did with De Ligt. We went to Juve and signed a player they bought for what, 80 million from Juventus or Ajax? We got De Ligt for 75 million plus 10 million in add-ons. And we only pay Juventus, we're paying them over 4 years. So 75 divided by 4, whatever that is, that's what we're paying a year. That's so much better than paying it up front like some clubs do. So, all right. Okay. Still rate Colo Muani more. I don't think Colo Muani as a striker is better than Osimhen, to be completely honest. Yeah, so this is confirmation from Florian Plettenberg of what I was saying. The 24-year-old striker would definitely join Bayern in summer, right? He wants to. He would join Bayern. Confirmed again today. Clause is 80 million only. Is 8 million only. Okay. Bayern bosses like him a lot. His management and the player are aware of it. More talks could follow in the next weeks. It's all about the price and Tuchel. Oh yeah, Thomas Tuchel has to sanction the transfer. I think Tuchel would love a player like Osimhen because he's very flexible. He can come out wide, he can play through the center. But what I like especially about Victor Osimhen is his ability to just read situations as a striker. He's a very intelligent striker. The watch along is going to be crazy today. I can't wait for it, man. Colo Muani is like a false nine. I wouldn't say he's a false nine. I'd say he's a forward, Like, he would do really well if he played next to a striker like Harry Kane. I'm not saying Colo Muani can never mold himself to be this hold-up striker, but I feel like he's basically Christopher Nkunku, but taller. If you watch Nkunku for Leipzig, he couldn't play as a lone striker. He needs someone like Andre Silva next to him to bounce off of, to, link play, because Nkunku himself can't do it. Maybe he can once in a while hold the ball higher and bring teammates into it, but is that really his best position? So it's basically like Colo Muani. Colo Muani is someone that drops deep, can get the ball, turn, and create. He can create and score goals for his teammates. He can finish moves. He can start them. But he's not good at just his back to play, backed up against a striker with a long ball. And by the way, that's not all a striker does, but it is a big part of their game, especially in a game like Man City. We need a freaking Choupo-Moting today. Unfortunately, he's injured. We need that striker. I think out of all the strikers that are not Kane, Osimhen's close. I think Gonçalo Ramos is also close, and Bayern are open to the idea of looking at Gonçalo Ramos. Guys, this is a really good thing. We are looking at multiple profiles, and we're going to make a decision. We're going to make a decision. So, yeah, yesterday the story came out saying Benfica striker Gonçalo Ramos could be an option. Bayern have good contacts with the player's agent, Jorge Mendes. Therefore, there could be movement. Ramos would be relatively cheaper than other targets. Right. I think I would go for this guy if he's less than like 60 million. I don't even know why I'm saying that. That's a lot of money, 60 million, right? But I'd go for Gonçalo. Dude, it'd be a risk. But here's the thing, like, here's how I see it. If he molds himself and becomes a great striker, he's younger than all of them. Colo Muani's younger. And he's from that Benfica system. I think it'd be a crazy shame if we didn't even like attempt to get someone like Gonçalo Ramos. Like I think he can mold himself into being a really good striker. There's things in his game that he needs to improve, particularly just his ball retention. I think for a striker, but I see him, man. He has the flicks that Lewandowski had. He has the finishing, the snap finishing. He's a frick El Pistolero. That's what they call him, man. This man is a pistol. He lets it rip, and it's going in, back of the net, man. Guaranteed goal. So Ramos can finish with both feet, finish with his head. So I wouldn't mind like looking at someone like his profile, but I'm curious, how tall is Gonçalo Ramos? How tall is he? He's 6'1"? He is 6'1". Yeah, he has the height too. And he's young, which means, let's say he sucks. Bro, if you pay 40 mil for him, not 40, he will never be 40 million. They're going to demand like 60. I'm seeing stories about him being, 80 million. And I'm just there like, no. Like, realistically, Benfica would ask Chelsea 80 million. They're not going to ask 80 million from Bayern because they're going to know what's up. Like, we're not going to pay 80 million for a striker with a single season of high level performances. So Ramos strikes me as a player that would end up at a team like AC Milan and always just be the best player and score a lot of goals, and you just wish he was in your team. I don't know. We don't want to miss out on anyone good, right? I would go ahead and sign. I wouldn't mind Osimhen, right? But if Ramos is cheaper, and we know he's cheaper, and I don't know if this board can just see that. I guess the difference is Osimhen is proven in the Champions League. He's proven as a consistent performer in high-level games. This guy scores headers. He broke Ronaldo's record for the tallest leap in Serie A. So, yeah, you remember that leap from Ronaldo? Well, Osimhen broke that. He broke that record. And there's people that say Ramos isn't at the level of being a Bayern player, but I don't even, what's our level? Like, is it Choupo-Moting or is it Matisse Tau? Like, what's our level for a striker? How do we define what Bayern level means right now? How? Like, okay, is Konrad Laimer Bayern level? Yes or no? Okay, yes. Then Gonçalo Ramos is certainly Bayern level because at the level, they're similar levels of footballer. Like, they have accomplished almost the exact same things in the game of football. Laimer just has more experience, but they're at the same level. Like, they're both in a team that qualifies for the Champions League every year, and they both give performances for their team, but maybe they're just not going to win the big trophy because their team isn't equipped enough to ever win it. But they're at the same level in their careers in terms of not ability. I think Ramos is I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I'm just saying, like, if we're signing Laimer, then Gonçalo Ramos would be Bayern level for me as well. I hate Laimer. I don't want Laimer either, man. Kane is at least 60 million. Don't be a fool. Does someone think we can? Yeah, wouldn't pay more than 30 million for Kane. He's old. See, this is kind of weird. Why are we still thinking 30 years old is old? I mean, Mane sucks, but he was never a really high level footballer. He was always a transition player who got the most out of him in a system. So yeah, Mane is a different kind of 30. But if you sign a 31-year-old Neymar, you're still signing Neymar, who's going to give you great performances. And especially with modern sports medicine and this high-level understanding of physio. And yeah, man, I think players these days can be a lot better than people are saying. Like, seriously, I think these modern players can be better into their 30s. Literally, we're seeing it at Bayern. Look at Chupo. Chupo got better as he got older. Lewandowski improved. He's now 35, I think, 34. But his best time at Bayern was when he was 32, 33, 34. So age is like becoming less relevant. Look at Zlatan. Zlatan and Ronaldo. Zlatan's better than Ronaldo, and Ronaldo's younger. But Zlatan still has like his sharp touches, just not as fast anymore. But trust me, as you know, teams get better at managing players and injuries over the years, because what happens is you get injured and your body naturally slows. But if we can manage injuries and a player rarely gets injured, you can see some players go play into their 30, 35s and still be cooking at a top level. Look at Chiellini and Bonucci. Those guys won the freaking Euros. And I think Bonucci was a little bit younger. Chiellini was 36 or 35. So, and my man was cooking. So, yeah, I think we got to move away from 30 is where your career ends. No, that's such a 2010, pre-2010 thing. Now, players play till they're 36, right? Freaking David Silva at City, my man was like 39. he was 60 years old and he was still cooking. Yeah, man, we got to stop letting age be this huge thing it's not, because it's no longer as relevant. Like, if we sign a 27-year-old player, I'm seeing him giving us like 6 years, like till he's 33, like good performances. I'm no longer seeing it as, oh, we signed him in their prime and he's going to decline in 3 years. No, I see. I'm changing my mind on age, right? Even goalkeepers. If you sign a 27-year-old goalkeeper, look at Neuer. Neuer should not be where he is, but I guess the freaking skiing incident. Yeah, no, age is still relevant, right? You don't want to go sign some old weirdo, but saying like Kane isn't worth 30 million because he's old. Like we sold Levy for 45 million, 50 million plus. If you add the add-ons, that I think Barcelona already paid his add-ons. Even though they got out of the Europa League, and the next thing they had to do was pay his add-ons. Oh man, but yeah, no, seriously, it's just players that take care of their bodies can play at a high level in their older age. It's just players that are really like soft, built like glass, that play football like it's just a game to them and it's not a career, that take care of their bodies, maximize their perfection, have coaches and chefs, players that don't just play in the training ground, but also play at home in terms of being professionals. Like they're professionals at home as well. Like Lewandowski was a professional. My man was eating professional food. So I honestly think football is changing in that way. I mean, 40 years ago, no one was doing diets. Bro, you were just drinking beer. Like you'd win a Champions League and drink alcohol till you died. Players would be dying at 40, not playing till 40. So I don't know. Isn't Kane 28? Wait, I thought he was 29. If he's 28, then that. I looked up Kane and that wrestler popped up. Harry Kane. Oh, he's 29. He's 29. He's going to turn 30 years old. Real Madrid and PSG are apparently joining the race. Interesting to sign Kane. Well, Kane's going to sell shirts. Is he though? I mean, he's obviously a famous British footballer, but is he really going to sell shirts? Bayern do look at that kind of thing. Like, is this player going to sell shirts? Is he going to come? Because if we're going to pay 100 million for someone, we want someone that is marketable to the fans and is marketable to people that want to buy shirts. It's actually a very important part of the strategy we had. All right, Kane will be 30. All right. So it looks like maybe the club might, start withdrawing their interest in Harry Kane and start expanding their viewpoint of who they want as a striker. And it might be good for us. I don't know. If we go in for Osimhen or Gonçalo Ramos, I don't know. Especially if we have Cancelo, like 2 Portuguese players, then you can really get anyone. We would have a French core, Portuguese core. What we need is a Spain core, because I'd love a player like Pedri at Bayern, but we're not Pedri. But I'm saying a player that plays in the Spanish national team and is almost is world class, right? So if we can scout some young players, then I wouldn't mind. Also, we have a deal. We're finalizing our deal with the Uruguayan club. So if we can start building those things, building that infrastructure, it's going to take a couple years, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we can, get the next Luis Suarez or something. And guys, don't get it twisted. That's what could happen. A lot of these Uruguayan players, dude, like Suarez, Cavani was one, greatest Uruguayan. I gotta actually read this list. Guys, we could get first dips on some of these players before they go up to, Serie A, like Diego Godin. Imagine if we had Godin all those years. Like Federico Valverde. This is a small country, so scouting is a lot easier. You'll know who's cold and who's not. So if we have a center in Uruguay, then naturally over the years, that's going to expand. Next thing you know, we have a center in Argentina. And we can get the next Messi, the next Enzo Fernandez, because we will have that global scout network. We could have a Diego Forlan. Bro, we'll be cooking, man. We could get the next Angel Di Maria. Come on, baby. We could really do something great by having that Southern America core. I want to expand into Brazil now. I read a comment. Someone was like, "Oh, if you go to Brazil, you're gonna get young players with attitude." Dude, isn't that like a stereotypically bigoted way of seeing Brazilian players? Dog, just because they're these flamboyant individuals does not mean they're not professionals. You don't want a Thiago Silva at Bayern? You don't want a Vinicius Jr.? Vinicius Jr. Benzema told them, you guys know that meme? You will never make it. I gotta play it now, just because. This meme right here. This is what Benzema did to Vinicius Jr. And look how he turned out. This is so funny to me, man.
You don't have future here. You don't have future. You can never make it. You don't have future here. You don't have future. You can never make it. You're supposed to be a dinner man, serving dinner to the students in the secondary school. Because you cannot do basic 1 + 1. You are here breathing heavy like a dog. Think about your life.
This is what Benzema did to Vinicius Jr. Ban this Brocolona fan? Nah, he can do whatever he wants. Yeah, man, you could troll me all you want. My team does the talking on the field. You do it on my YouTube comments. But so look, Benzema did that to Vinicius Jr. and Vinicius worked hard and got to where he is. He didn't get there by being a flamboyant, attitude-filled player. Now he has an ego, but that's a good thing. Y'all wouldn't want to run out Ronaldinho at Bayern. We need another culture player. I think Franz Beckenbauer and maybe Philip Lahm or Thomas Müller now, but we need a culture player at Bayern, like a player that everyone just models their game after. I'm sure every center back watched Franz Beckenbauer and was like, I want to be just like him. That global superstar with Ballon d'Ors. Come on, man. We need that. Bring the next Ronaldinho to Bayern. Real Madrid can't keep getting first dips on these players. So we can court them while they're 12 years old, man, and bring them to Bayern and get them playing in our youth academy. Get him playing for the Deutsche Rekordmeister. Come on, we can handle it. We already have a European core, right? We have, if we want a Polish player, we can easily grab them. Oh man, my chest is sore. Ooh, that's how you know you did a good chest day. I don't know the last time my upper body was sore at all. I'm just so muscular now, or it's like it's really hard to top me because I just top it every week. Nah, sometimes I just go to the gym to BS. He's looking for attention. Exactly. George, what do you think about Vlahovic's? No. Get that. No ability having Mother Zucker. He's a good finisher. That's about it. Good finisher, period. Nothing else. Boys, I have a crazy long watch along in less than 2 hours. The game starts in less than 2 hours. So, and we're doing the giveaway draw. So if you have not included yourself in the giveaway for two winners for that giveaway for a Bayern kit, go back to the 10K celebration video. I'll draw the winners on the city stream. So when we start that stream, we'll start it 30 minutes before the game starts, as opposed to 15 minutes before the game starts. So if you aren't part of the giveaway, go try and get in there. But I can't wait for the City game. It's going to be tough, but this is what Bayern is made of. This is what we're about. We're about tough moments. Let's take this game. Let's handle Man City. Let's go to their stadium and do something no one thought possible. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Mia San Mia, and peace. How tall is Osimhen? I believe he's 6'2" or 6'1", but above 6 foot for sure. My brother's a City fan. I can't wait. We'll cook him.